Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Lily. Don't forget to hit that like button, drop me a comment below, and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all the latest videos. Today's video is going to be about this beautiful corset dress that I made. I found the pattern on Etsy, and I will link it in the description box below, as well as all the materials I used. A lot of them came from Amazon, some of them came from my closet, and then all the machines that I use as well. I'll give you a link to where I got those in the description. This dress, I've been seeing it online for a long time. I've been really wanting to make it, and I finally got the opportunity to do so, and it turned out great, and I love it. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I started recording at this point. I bought this pattern on an Etsy shop. I will link the description below of where I got it. But basically, I got a corset dress. I printed it out, stitched the patterns together using tape, and then cut out the patterns. And now I'm just outlining them on my fabric here so that I could cut them out. It did come with instructions, so that's great. I got the inspiration from this dress right here. I can't remember where I saw this dress, but I saw it on like Facebook or something and then screenshot it and decided I'm gonna make this. So I'm basically just cutting out my pattern now. I cut it out in chunks that's about an inch away from my actual line. I won't be doing this next time. The reason why I did this is because I normally, whenever I do small projects, send the excess scrap to a scrap facility to be recycled. I don't want to keep having to do that, and so I'm just going to try to maximize the amount of fabric that I have so that I can keep, I can have excess fabric to work on or work with. But yeah, all that excess fabric that I'm cutting off. I hated the fact that this fabric was so gorgeous, and I had scrap fabric, and I don't know what to do with scrap fabric at all. But I am big on recycling, so I try my best to recycle stuff, and I found a place near me that recycles scrap fabric, and I got really excited, so I'm just gonna take that down there and have this recycled into something else, and we keep the world spinning. Okay, here I'm doing the back of the dress this time. I did this in pieces where I wanted to work on the front first and then I wanted to work on the back second so that I'm not too overwhelmed about taking on this project. This is not the first dress that I've made. It might be my second, and I think I might have bitten off more than I could chew because this dress is very involved. I think I should probably stick with something basic like, one panel front, one panel back, stitch them together, and boom, I have like a maxi dress or something. This dress comes in, I think, 5 pieces, 3 front, oh no, 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces. So I had to cut out 7 pieces to stitch together. I had to do boning, and there were supposed to be like infusers and then a lining, and I forewent a lot of that stuff. So if you want a project that's a little easier, I wouldn't do this. But if you want something to kind of keep you busy for a couple of days, this one is definitely it. So I'm just finishing off marking out my pattern here, and then I'm going to cut them out. I don't know, I really just love the pattern for this dress. I love the idea of this dress. It is just so much work. Alright, so now I'm cutting my fabric out. At first, I think I started out doing this as close to the line as I could. Because then I realized, oh, I don't want to waste fabric. But then I ended up just cutting them out in chunks nevertheless, so that I can do like a precision cutout like I did before with the front. The precision came out beautiful, by the way. I just really, really love the patterns that come with this dress. So thank you so much to the person I bought this from. So this is how the dress came out in the front. I'm going to be sewing these sides together. But first, I'm going to run this through my serger just to make those ends, as you can see, they look very jagged, but just to cut those ends off and seal them up to prevent just shredding. So I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, here I'm putting my fabric through my serger. I have a cutter on the side, and that'll cut off a lot of that jagged end right here. So I'm gonna run this through again. I'm gonna do this on both sides of my fabric for the front and the back. Again, that's just cutting off the jagged scissoring edges and then just like overlocking that fabric in so I won't have any shredding. So here it is. This is what they look like, serged, overlocked all the way around. I did get crazy at one point because I really love my serger and did the top, but don't do the top, just do both sides. The top will get taken care of eventually. But for now, just do both sides, and then now we're gonna stitch those 3 panels together to create the front. Alright guys, so this is our front panel stitched together. I also had excess fabric on these 2 panels that I marked off, so these are going to get cut off since it doesn't match up to our fabric on this side. That's cool. Gonna take care of that. So now that we have this front panel fused together, I'm just gonna flip it over. And then what we're gonna do is, these 2 are like the bust area. You could see that by the curves. We're gonna go in and put like 5 small cuts in the bust area, and then by the waist area where it's also curved, we're gonna put 3 cuts on both sides. All right, so I did cuts along the breast edge here, and then cuts along the waist edge here. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts in the breast area on both sides. I think I said I was gonna do 5 before, but I ended up doing 1 more. And then in the waist, I did 1, 2, 3 on both sides. When we're done, now that we're done, I should say, we're gonna iron this seam open so that we're able to sew our boning in there. So in that seam allowance, we're gonna sew our boning down. The bone I have is very thin. I would recommend about a 1-inch bone. I have like a fraction of that, but I'm still gonna make it work for me. So we're just gonna go in here, sew this entire seam allowance down on both sides, have it opened out like so, and then sew our boning down. I'm gonna iron this open and then come back to show you what it looks like when it's just ironed open, and then we're gonna do our boning. Alright guys, I got my boning material here. I bought this on Amazon some time ago. It is 6 millimeters. I don't know what millimeters transfer to in inches. I'll probably put it up on the screen if I find it. But I went ahead and cut out 6 pieces of the boning, 2 that are a little bit longer. These are going to be for the breast area, and then 4 that are a little bit shorter than the breast area. These are going to be for the back and the sides of the dress to give it the structure it needs. So again, I'm going to go in and sew down this portion super flat, the seam allowance, and then once it's flat, we're gonna go in and sew this bone right in there, and then we're gonna close it up like so. All right, so I'm gonna put that in the description box, and then we're gonna go and iron this out, and then I'll come back to show you guys how I sew this down. Alright guys, so because the breast area of the dress is a bit curved, I'm gonna need a rounded item underneath so that I could get like my iron in here pretty good to flatten that out. So I used a dress. It's a maxi dress, like summer dress, that I just kind of rolled up and rounded it out so that I could use it underneath my fabric here. And then I'm just gonna go in with my iron and just pull these out and then just iron all the way down so I could flatten the seam allowances out. So I'll do that and come back. So this is what this looks like, where you have the rounded object underneath the breast portion, and you pretty much open that seam out with the heat of your iron, and you just go all the way down. I only did the breast portion here, but on my other side, as you see, the entire seam allowance has been opened up, and in the breast portion is where we're going to sew our boning. So I'm gonna finish off I'm gonna finish off ironing out my seam allowance and then come back. Okay, so I finished off my front panel doing what I need to do. So I'm just going to start working on my back panel. I have serged these edges closed as well, so there's not much else to do here but to fuse the entire panels together. I don't think I want to put the boning into these ones anymore, so we're just gonna run these through the sewing machine and meld them together. Alright guys, so here we are. This is our two back panels. I did cut out too much fabric for this, so I had to mark it off so I know where I need to be cutting. I thought I had excess fabric on this one as well, so I marked this, but I'm going to try to get that marking out. I think it'll be out because when we fold this over to make it invisible, that part's just going to go away, but that's fine. But this one had a little bit too much. Don't know how I did that, but that's fine. We can take care of that easy peasy. So this is our back panel. It came out super good. I'm super impressed with myself. I'm not like a seamstress or anything. This is a hobby that I do, so I'm really excited about being able to get these to look really good, considering I had a lot of rippling from my serger, but really excited. So now you have like this straight back piece. This is where our zipper is gonna go. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do a zipper. I've done zippers many times before, but when I did a dress a couple months ago, I did not really like how the zipper came out. I'm gonna definitely do it how I did that one because the zipper was an invisible zipper, but I want the zipper to be like midway down the back and not all the way down, and I ended up doing the zipper way too far down, so it made the back of the dress look unappealing to me. So I'm definitely gonna make sure I look up how to get the zipper on the dress, but only do it like midway to half back, so that I could get my back piece looking immaculate. But this is pretty much it. This is our back panels. Gonna take care of that excess, and yeah, so let's keep on going. Okay guys, so this is the back panel. It is currently folded in half. This is where we're going to sew the front panel on, and then I'm going to right now cut 3 1 centimeter slices. so that this part will fold very nicely and neatly and conform to our curves. And then I'm gonna use my iron and open out the seam allowance. And after that, we're gonna sew the boning into this back portion of our dress. All right, now we've ironed the seam allowance on our back panels. We've made our cuts. Be careful not to cut where we sewed to meld these two panels together. But cut up to just a little allowance for the fabric there, so you don't cause a hole and cause your panel to separate. Okay, so we flatten this out. We're all good here. The next step is to sew the back panels and the front panels together. We're gonna sew this edge to the front panel and then the other edge to the front panel, leaving this side available because this is where we're gonna be doing we're gonna be sewing on our invisible zipper. Alright guys, so I have put the two back panels together. So this is one of the back panels, this is the front panel, and then this is the other back panel here. We have our slits. Oop, I forgot to iron this one down. Oh no, these are where I just sewed it, yes. So this is where I just sewed it as well. I'm gonna have to put a few slits in here and then iron it down. This is another part of this sewing together. I'm gonna have to put two slits and iron it down. So I'm gonna do that and then come back. But this is our entire dress so far. Alright guys, so right now I'm gonna work on putting in the bone into the breast area of my dress. Just a quick tip, you want to feed this through your sewing machine at a curved angle so that it maintains its structure. Also, throughout the video I said I was going to put boning into the back of my dress and the side of my dress to kind of give it a corset effect, but I ended up only using it for the breast curvature only and not throughout the dress. After the dress was finished, I was kind of annoyed that I didn't go in and put that boning into the sides of my dress because I really wanted to have a cinched waist look, but that's okay. I really wanted it to be a little bit more flowy and not too structured or heavy looking, and so I did what I did and it turned out great, so I'm okay with it. Alright guys, so now that we have blocked our boning inside and folded over the fabric so that we won't get stuck with that, I'm going to run my dress through my serger again just to cut off these excess seam allowances so that they will become like this. I already ran this part through the serger and seared it off so that I have a beautiful finished end. So I'm gonna do that for all of the remaining 5 sections just to cut off the excess fabric here. The reason we're doing this is to make it look a little bit nicer. Also, I did not plan to use any interfacing because I wanted this dress to be a little bit light. If you want to get like more of a thicker, heavier dress, I would say to use interfacing and then lining. I neglected to do that because I wanted a nice, light, flowy dress that still had some structure with it. I initially wanted to add boning to the hip areas so that I have a bit of a corset look on the sides so that the dress sticks out a little more. I'm going to show you guys what I was talking about, but then I decided against it. So we're just going to do that and sear our serge our excess fabric off and just seal that up. Okay, so when you're done your serging, your inside should look a lot like this. Beautiful finish. Then we're gonna work on our zipper. So right now I have my dress inside out and I have where my zipper is gonna be together. So this is the bottom half, this is the top half. I'm going to serge just halfway up my dress, so to about here, so that I have this side closed, and then the rest of the way I'm gonna have my invisible zipper. So I'm gonna just do a step by step and show you guys what that looks like. Alright guys, so I have my zipper here that I'm doing. I initially used my pins to pin it down, but I thought it would be better to use clips. The pins kind of sort of got in the way. And I'm also using a presser footer for seamless zipper sewing, as you can see here. So those pins just did not work out with this, and so that's why I used my clips instead. These presser footers that I got, some came with the machine, some I got on different sites. I can link in the description where I got them. I can link Amazon. I also might have gotten some from Shein. But either way, I got these presser footers to specifically sew on my zipper. I showed previously how to sew on a invisible zipper on one of my videos before. It's not hard, but you have to really do some thinking on it, because you have to sew it on the right side of the fabric, only to turn it invertedly so that the part that you're sewing goes on the inside of the fabric. So it gets a little bit, for me anyway, it gets a little bit tricky on how to think about putting the zipper on. And I guess maybe that's why people save it for last. But either way, it's not terribly hard, definitely easy to do. Again, just go super slow and you'll get it done. But yeah, you pretty much sew this on the right side of the fabric. So when you cast it off of your sewing machine, you can turn it inward, and then the invisible zipper will show on the back of your project. And I'll show you guys what my outcome was. This is my second time ever doing a dress with a zipper, and I actually liked how this came out better than my first one. My first one isn't even finished because I got like very discouraged. But I'm probably gonna go in and see what I could do to make it better, because I did a great job on it for the most part. But so far this dress came out way better, and I'm happy with the results from this. So I'll show you guys what this zip looks like once I'm finished. Alright guys, I finished my dress. Right now it is looking a bit rough. I have a lot of hanging thread. I did end up getting some messy crowding on my machine. I ended up having to call my machine repair guy because my machine started acting up as I was feeding my dress through. So on both sides there's like a little bit of hiccups here, also here. So sorry, I'm also like recovering from a slight cold. But either way, the dress did come out not terrible, given some of the issues I had with my machine. My machine is doing a little bit better now because I got it repaired as I was making this dress. So we're okay. I went in and I created an invisible zipper. Again, my machine started acting up a little bit, so I got a little bit of a crowding there. Not bad. Most of it turned out really good, so I'm not too beat up. And this is my first time making such a complex thing on my sewing machine. And I say complex because I normally do more crafty stuff like bags and pouches and, you know, non-clothing items on my machine. So I'm extremely happy with how this is turning out so far. it's pretty much almost complete. I have to go in and curl these ends over just so that we don't have that rough top part here. What I think I'm gonna do is serge all the way around, like this, create the overcasting stitch, overlocking stitches all the way around my dress top, and then fold it over and then do a single stitch all the way around, and then do the same for my skirt here. The skirt portion is already serged closed, so all I have to do is just do a single stitch and close it out so that it's like this. So I'm gonna do that on the top and the bottom and come back and show you guys the finished look of this dress. Again, I really wanted this dress to be flowy. It's not like structured. So I'd prefer to have it stiff, but I did want this dress to be flowy. So maybe in another video, I will end up doing an A-line dress again, this time using thicker, heavier fabric, or using heavier interfacing so that we can get a more structured vest. What am I saying? Vest, dresses, dress. Anyway, let me go finish those bottom and top and then come back and show you guys what that looks like. All right, guys, so this is the finished product. Right now, my dress looks a little shaky. I had to pin it up on my mannequin, and the mannequin and me are 2 different sizes. So the top half is pinned on with my cushion pins and clipped on with my sewing clips. So the dress came out pretty good, I would say. I did get a little bit of bird's nesting where my boning is in the chest area. I'm going to be going in and putting on some gems on the dress. I haven't gotten the chance to buy the exact gems that I need, so that's just gonna be a later video and a later project. But so far, I loved how this dress turned out. I'm gonna show you guys what the back looks like. All right, and this is what the back of the dress looks like. How I did the bottom, I just basically folded it over and ironed it down, and then used a hand, method to just seal some of the slits in the dress. So parts where I serged it off and sewn the bottom part onto those so it keeps the bottom half up. I will have to go in there and do a better job of that because I did it at the bottom and the top. And so I have just this little thing that falls from underneath. So I'm gonna have to go in and try to figure out how to not have that do that. But this is how the dress came out in the back. I want to go in and cinch the waist a little bit more because I feel like the waist is a little bit too baggy. And this is how the zipper came out. Some of it did start showing, but the zipper goes pretty far down. And I love how it is super seamless. So this is how the dress came out. And again, I'm gonna show a different video on how I get those gems on there. Likely, if I sew them on, that'll be a nice lengthy video. And in another case, I might just glue them on to make this quicker. But yeah, that is the dress.